Well, that was the best Hearthwarming Eve episode to date. Better than the one in Season 2. Weird it came out before the Halloween episode. Oh well, better start this review. Clips? Check. Background music? Check. Sound effects? Check. Title card? Check. Well, that's already been done. Okay, should be ready to go, and... Oh, I wonder who this could be. Come in.
Hello there. I hope I'm not interrupting anything.
Hi there. Wait, you look familiar. Wait a minute. You're Bright Idea, aren't you? The one who did the parody of Yakko's World, but with the content creators of the Brony community. That was awesome, and thanks for including me.
Oh, please. It's a pleasure to finally meet you, Rosie. And thank you for making such entertaining and thought-provoking videos.
Thanks very much, Bright Idea. Would you like to come in?
Sure. So what were you doing anyway?
Well, I was about to do a review on Hearthbreakers, the best Hearthwarming Eve episode to date. I guess we could make it a collab review. You want to do it with me?
That would be awesome! Though I haven't really done an episode review before.
It's okay, Bright. If the apples and the pies can teach each other their traditions, then so can we. No need to worry.
You're right. This'll be fun.
So the episode begins with Twilight and Spike in their castle getting ready for Hearthwarming Eve, and straight away we get to see how they celebrate the holiday by putting really cute dolls on themselves on top of the fireplace. Then Pinkie and Applejack arrive, explaining that their families of both the apples and the pies are going to spend the holiday together. This is a great extension of both Pinkie Apple Pie and Mole Pie from last season, as this is the second episode where Pinkie and Applejack are the main focus. Only this time we get to see both families together, as the rest of the Pie family haven't been seen in the show, apart from Pinkie's flashback in the Cutie Mark Chronicles.
What I love about the beginning of this episode was how homey it made Twilight's castle look compared to when it was first introduced. They've settled in nicely and are prepared for a happy hearthwarming. I also love that Pinkie and Applejack finally get the focus in this episode. As characters, they are similar in some ways, but very different in other ways. Of course, both of them are earth ponies, they both care very much about their families, and both have been raised on some type of farm. However, Applejack is a more hardworking, down-to-earth personality, and Pinkie is, well, Pinkie. Loud, bubbly, easily excitable, and as random as donkeys and trombones. Makes me wonder how in the world she came from the family that she did.
I like Applejack being the voice of reason in the group, especially when she, Pinkie, and the Apples are on the train to the Pie family's rock farm. She gives a really great recap on the first Hearthwarming Eve to Applebloom, and does this to the audience, in a really cool chocolate/gingerbread animation style, giving a good callback to the episode back in Season 2.
Whoa, hold on. Back up now. Look at those train passengers over there. Look, it's totally the mom from Home Alone, and Steve Martin and John Candy from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Ha! That is clever! Brilliant job, animators! What a... Sorry for getting carried away there.
It's okay, Bright Idea. Sometimes I have those moments too. Anyway, back on topic. I also love the interactions between AJ and Pinkie, especially when they say things at the same time, being potential cousins and all, and also they want to show each other their way of celebrating the holiday to the host family. Speaking of the family, we meet up with Maud as they arrive. Her humor is still dry as ever, and then we meet the rest of their family at the rock farm. Igneous Rock, Cloudy Quartz, Limestone, and Marble. They really surprised me in terms of their personalities.
I absolutely love Pinkie Pie's family. The last time we saw them was way back in Cutie Mark Chronicles, and they didn't even have any lines then. I was super satisfied to finally hear Pinkie's parents' voices, who both sound very Amish and old-fashioned. Her sisters were good characters too, with Limestone Pie being something like a grumpy version of Applejack, keeping the farm running and everything, and Marble Pie being the more silent type. Kind of like Big Mac, actually.
I better call the Coast Guard because I sense a new ship coming. I'll get to that later. Anyway, Limestone is the main pony running the farm, and I find her attitude similar to how Gilda used to be, before Rainbow and Pinkie made a change for the better. And look at that big rock. It looks like a giant dragon egg, and it's named Holder's Boulder. Interesting. Have you heard of a rock like that, Bright Idea?
Can't say that I have, but I do know about the over-the-shoulder boulder holder. My mind goes to strange places sometimes.
Anyway, the families have the traditional dinner. The Apples expect the food to be sweet rolls and pot pies, which they have in their traditions, only for the dinner to be rock soup. Bit of a weird choice.
Which reminds me of the tale Stone Soup, where travelers trick a village into making a feast by starting with broth and a few rocks. Kinda off topic, but I had to mention it.
Interesting story. I think I might read that myself. Despite the awkwardness the apples are going through, they stay optimistic and continue on. They participate in the other activities the pies have planned, making dolls out of rocks, and a bizarre hide-and-seek game out of the traditional question flag raising. I enjoy the interactions here, especially Maud and Apple Bloom, and Marble and Big Mac. I have to say, Marble Mac, I ship it.
Personally, I enjoyed the interaction between Granny Smith and Pinkie Pie's parents, and how even though they come from completely different cultures and backgrounds, they still find common ground. We also learned that Igneous and Cloudy Quartz had an arranged marriage. That kind of backstory really fascinates me.
So after that game, Applejack starts to question about the pies' traditions and suggests they should bring their own traditions through, only for the pies to give a cold reception, followed by the boulder falling into a quarry after an earthquake. Like I mentioned earlier, this episode was like a second part to the episode Maud Pie, as the episode faces harsh reality from the pies' dislike for their traditions. This leads to Pinkie being caught in the middle. Part of Pinkie's character is that she does not quite understand what is happening around her, like in the episodes of Friend Indeed, Philly Vanilli, and the Maud Pie episode. So this is another situation that makes her to feel the pressure from this, leading to her sadness along with Applejack.
Applejack was definitely in the wrong here, but I believe she was doing what she did for the right reasons. It's not easy following traditions that are so very different from the ones you're used to, and in a situation like the Pie's home where everything is so austere and rock-like, it's a challenge for folks like the Apples to get used to. It made me sad to see Pinkie upset because of her family's disapproval, but I could totally understand the situation and everybody's reaction to it.
So after a sad goodbye, the apples go back to Ponyville on the train. However, Applejack sees the light after Granny Smith explains why the boulder was so important to them. In other words, she was so caught up in the pie's traditions, she disregarded why they are so important to them. So Applejack tells the train to stop, and she and the apples race back to the farm after she discovers a present from Pinkie.
In this episode, the lesson truly shines. I feel that families everywhere can learn from each other by sharing each other's customs and traditions without forcing them to change their ways or think one way of celebrating is better than another. This is the way to have one big happy family, especially around the holiday season.
I agree with you, Bright Idea. This is one of my favorite morals from the show. Not only does this apply to people celebrating the holiday, but it also applies to people from different cultures and religions, and also through other holidays and events, like Halloween, Thanksgiving in America, and Easter. We have our own ways of celebrating these holidays, and we can pass the traditions to others by teaching them, one step at a time. With the apples and the pies reconciled, they create the first joint tradition by pushing Holder's boulder up the quarry, and enjoying the holiday while sharing their traditions with each other, with a cute moment from Marble and Big Mac. So, what's your final thoughts on this episode, Bright Idea?
Well, when I think about what makes an episode great, I ask myself, is it memorable, and what makes it memorable? For me, I'll definitely remember the great character interactions, the new fleshed-out hearth-warming customs and traditions that ponies have depending on how they're brought up, and the hilarious lines from Maud Pie. I tell you, she just cracks me up with her rock jokes.
Overall, this episode was heartwarming and fantastic in terms of interactions, and also we get more world building to the traditions of Hearthwarming Eve. Considering this is the second episode written by Nick Carfalone, who also wrote Party Poops earlier on in the season, this is definitely his best episode so far. The jokes were funny, the interactions were great, and it makes me want to see more episodes with both of their families. I give this episode 9 out of 10 stars.
Wow, no wonder I thought Party Pooped and Hearthbreakers felt so similar. Well, thanks very much for having me over, Rose Pal. It was a pleasure reviewing this episode with you.
No problem, Bright Idea. It was awesome working with you, and you brought us some great thoughts and ideas for this review. And since it was your first one, you did a great job at it.
Aw, shucks. Well, gotta get back to my channel and make some holiday parodies or something. Those are my favorite. See you around, Rosie.
You too, Bright Idea. And if you guys want to check out more of Bright Idea's videos, be sure to head over to her channel. I will provide the link to her channel in the description. Let us know in the comments below on your thoughts on Hearthbreakers. Until next time, this is Rose Pal and Bright Idea saying, see you later, every pony.